Physical presence. In a time of crisis, the most powerful gift you can give your spouse's primary love language is receiving gifts. And when her mother died, she probably not did tell you. Did not tell you that I took off work a week. I took off work a week before she died and spent the whole week at the hospital and at her mother's house doing repairs and helping out. After she died and the funeral was over, I felt like I had done all I could do. I needed a breather. I liked to play softball, and I knew that would help me relax and relieve some of the stress I'd been under. I thought she would want me to take a break. I had done what I thought was important to her, but it wasn't enough. She had never let me forget those 2 days. She says that I love softball more than I love her. That's ridiculous. He was a sincere husband who failed to understand the tremendous power of presence. His being there for his wife was more important than anything else in her mind. Physical presence in time of crisis is the most powerful gift you can give if your spouse's primary love language is receiving gifts. Your body becomes a symbol of your love. Remove the symbol and the sense of love evaporates. In counseling, Don and John worked through the hurts and misunderstandings of the past. Eventually, Jan was able to forgive him, and Don came to understand why his presence was so important to her. If the physical presence of your spouse is important to you, I urge you to verbalize that to your spouse. Don't expect him to read your mind. If on the other hand your spouse says to you, I really want you to be with me tonight, tomorrow, this afternoon, take his request seriously. From your perspective, it may not be important, but if you're not responsive to our request, you may be communicating a message that you do not intend. A husband once said, when my mother died, my wife's supervisor said that she could be off 2 hours for the funeral, but she needs to be back in the office for the afternoon. My wife told him that she felt her husband needed her support that day and she would have to be away the entire day. The supervisor replies, if you're gone all day, you may well lose your job. My wife said, my husband's more important than my job. She spent the day with me. Somehow that day I felt more loved by her than ever before. I've never forgotten what she did. Incidentally, she said she didn't lose her job. Her supervisor soon left and she was asked to take his job. That wife has spoken the love language of her husband and he never forgot it. Almost everything ever written on the subject of love indicates that at the heart of love is the spirit of giving. All 5 love languages challenge us to give to our spouse, but for some reason receiving gifts, visible symbols of love, speaks the loudest. I heard the most graphic illustration of that truth in Chicago when I met Jim and Janice. They attended my marriage seminar and agreed to take me to her apartment after the seminar on Saturday afternoon. We had 2 or 3 hours before my flight and they asked if I would like to stop at a restaurant. I was famished, so I readily agreed. That afternoon, however, got much more than a free meal. Jim and Janice both grew up on farms in central Illinois, not more than 100 miles from each other. They moved to Chicago shortly after the wedding. I was hearing the story 15 years and 3 children later. Janice began talking almost immediately after we sat down. She said, Dr. Chapman, the reason we want to take you to the airport is that we could tell you about our miracle. Something about the word miracle always causes me to brace myself, especially if I don't know the person who is using it. What bizarre story am I going to hear? I wondered, but I kept my thoughts to myself and gave Janice my undivided attention. I was about to be shocked. She said, Dr. Chapman, God used to perform a miracle in our marriage. I felt guilty already. A moment ago I was questioning her use of the term miracle, and now in her mind I was a vehicle of a miracle. Now I was listening even more intently. Janice continued, 3 years ago we attended your marriage seminar here in Chicago for the first time. I was desperate, she said. I was thinking seriously of leaving Jim and I had told him so. Our marriage had been empty for a long time. I had given up. For years I had complained to Jim that I needed his love, but he never responded. I loved the children. I knew they loved me, but I felt nothing coming from Jim. In fact, by that time I hated him. He was a methodical person. He did everything by routine. He was predictable as a clock, and no one could break into his routine. For years, she continued, I tried to be a good wife. I cooked, I washed, I ironed. I cooked, I washed, I ironed. I did all the things I thought a good wife would do. I had sex with him because I knew that was important to him, but I felt no love coming from him. I felt like he stopped dating me after we got married and simply took me for granted. I felt used and unappreciated. When I talked to Jim about my feelings, he laughed at me and said we had as good a marriage as anybody else in the community. You understand why I was so happy. He would remind me that the bills were paid, that we had a nice house and a new car, and I was free to work or not work outside the home. And I should be happy instead of complaining all the time. He didn't even try to understand my feelings. I felt totally rejected. Well, anyway, she said as she moved her tea and leaned forward. We came to a seminar 3 years ago. We'd never been to a marriage seminar before. I did not know what to expect, and frankly, I didn't expect much. I didn't think anything about anything. I didn't think anybody could change Jim. During after the seminar, Jim didn't say too much. He seemed to like it. He said that you were funny, but he talked with me about any ideas of the seminar. I didn't expect him to, and I didn't ask him to. As I said, I had already given up by then. As you know, she said the seminar ended on Saturday afternoon. Saturday night and Sunday was pretty much as usual. But Monday afternoon, he came home from work and gave me a rose. Where did you get that? I asked. I thought about it from a street vendor. He said, I thought you deserved the rose. I started crying. Oh, Jim, that is so sweet of you. In my mind, she said, I knew he bought the rose from a Mooney. I had seen the young man selling roses that afternoon, but it didn't matter. The fact was, he had brought me a rose. On Tuesday, he called me from office at 1:30, asking what I thought about his buying a pizza and bringing it home for dinner. He said he thought I might enjoy a break from cooking dinner. I told him I thought the idea was wonderful, and so he brought home a pizza and we had a fun time together. Children loved the pizza and thanked their father for bringing it. I actually gave him a hug and told him how much I enjoyed it. When he came home on Wednesday, he brought each of the children home a box of Cracker Jacks, and he had a small pen and pad for me. He said he knew the rose would die, and I thought I might like something that would be around for a while. I was beginning to think I was hallucinating. I didn't believe what Jim was doing or why he was doing it. Thursday night after dinner, he handed me a card with the message about his not much being able to express his love to me, but hoping that the card would communicate how much he cared. Again, I cried, looked up at him. I could not resist hugging and kissing him. Why don't we get a babysitter on Saturday night and the two of us go out for dinner, he suggested. That would be wonderful, I said. On Friday afternoon, he stopped by the cookie shop and bought each of us one of our favorite cookies. Again, he kept it as a surprise, telling us only that he had a treat for dessert. By Saturday night, she said I was in orbit. I had no idea what had come over Jim or if it would last, but I was enjoying every minute of it. After our dinner at the restaurant, I said to him, Jim, you have to tell me what's happening. I don't understand. She looked at me intently and said, Dr. Chapman, you have to understand, this man had never given me a flower since the day we got married. He never gave me a card for any occasion. He always said, it's a waste of money. You look at the card and throw it away. We've been out to dinner one time in 5 years. He never bought the children anything, expecting me to buy only the essentials. He had never brought a pizza home for dinner. He expected me to have dinner ready every night. I mean, this is a radical change in his behavior. I turned to Jim and asked, why did you say to her in the restaurant when she asked what was going on? I told her that I had listened to your lecture on love languages at the seminar, and I realized that her love language was gifts. I also realized that I had not given a gift in years, maybe not since we had been married. I remember that when we were dating, I used to bring her flowers and other small gifts, but after marriage, I figured we couldn't afford that. I told her that I decided that I was going to try to get her a gift every day for a week and see if it made any difference in her. I had to admit that I had seen a pretty big difference in her attitude during the week. I told her that I realized that what you said was really true, and that learning the right love language was the key to helping another person feel loved. I said I was sorry that I had been so dense for all those years and had failed to meet her need for love. I told her that I really loved her and that I appreciated all the things she did for me and my children. I told her that with God's help, I was going to be a gift giver for the rest of my life. She said, but Jim, you can't go on buying me gifts every day for the rest of your life. You can't afford that. Maybe not every day, but at least once a week. That would be 52 more gifts per year than that you received in the past 5 years. I continued. And who said I was going to buy all of them? I might even make some of them, or take Dr. Chapman's idea and pick a free flower from the front yard in the spring. Janice interrupted. Dr. Chapman, I don't think he has missed a single week in 3 years. You're like a new man. You wouldn't believe how happy we have been. Our children call us lovebirds now. My tank is full and overflowing. I turned to Jim and asked, well, what about you, Jim? Do you feel loved by Janice? Oh, I've always felt loved by her, Dr. Chapman. She's the best housekeeper in the world. She's an excellent cook. She keeps my clothes washed and ironed. She's wonderful about doing things for the children. I know she loves me. He smiled. I said, now, you know what my love language is, don't you? I did, and I also knew why Janice had used the word miracles. Gifts need not be expensive, nor they must be given weekly. But for some individuals, their worth has nothing to do with monetary value and everything to do with love. In Chapter 7, we will clarify Jim's love language. If your spouse's love language is receiving gifts, try a parade of gifts. Leave a box of candy for your spouse in the morning. Yogurt candy if health is an issue. Have flowers delivered in the afternoon unless your spouse is allergic to flowers. Give him a shirt in the evening. When your spouse asks what is going on, you respond, just trying to fill your love tank. 2. Let nature be your guide. The next time you take a walk in your neighborhood, keep your eyes open for a gift for your spouse. Maybe a stone, a stick, or a flower. Be sure to ask your neighbor if the flower is not in your own yard. You may even attach special meaning to your natural gift. For example, a smooth stone may symbolize your marriage with many of the rough places not polished. A rose may remind you of the beauty you see in your spouse. 3. Discover the value of handmade originals. Make a gift for your spouse. This may require you to enroll in any arts or crafts class. Ceramics, silversmithing, painting, wood carving, etc. Your main purpose for rolling is to make your spouse a gift. A handmade gift often becomes a family heritage. 4. Give your spouse a gift every day for 1 week. It may not be a special week, just any week. I promise you it will become the week that was. If you are really energetic, you can make it the month that was. No, your spouse will not expect you to keep this up for a lifetime. 5. Keep a gift idea notebook. Every time you hear your spouse say, I really like that, or I would really like to have one of those, write it down in your notebook. Listen carefully and you will get quite a list. This will serve as a guide when you get ready to select the gifts. To prime the pump, you may look through a shopping catalog together. 6. Help, I'm confused. If you really don't have a clue as how to select a gift for your spouse, ask a friend or family member who knows your wife or husband well to help you. Most people enjoy making a friend happy by getting them a gift, especially if it's with your money. 7. Offer the gift of presents. Say to your spouse, I want to offer the gift of my presents at any event or any occasion you would like this month. You tell me when and I will make every effort to be there. Get ready, be positive. Who knows, you may enjoy the symphony or the hockey game. 8. Give your spouse a book and agree to read it yourself. Then offer to discuss together a chapter each week. Don't choose a book that you want him or her to read. Choose a book on a topic which you know your spouse has an interest: sex, football, needlework, money management, child reading, religion, or backpacking. 9. Give a lasting tribute. Give a substantial gift to your spouse's church or favorite charity in honor of her birthday, your anniversary, and another occasion. Ask the charity to send a card informing your spouse of what you have done. The church or charity will be excited, and so will your spouse. 10. Give a living gift. Purchase and plant a tree or flowering shrub in honor of your spouse. You may plant it in your own yard where you can water and nurture it, or in a public park or forest where others also can enjoy it. You'll get credit for this 1 year after year. If it's an apple tree, you may live long enough to get an apple. One warning, don't plant a crab apple tree.